Well, hello there's traders and investors. I'm LA Little and this is your daily NeoTA wrap. We take a look at these markets. We're doing it from a neoclassical perspective. That means each day we ask ourselves what happened today. Supply and demand, folks. What happened? What does it tell us about the coming days? I do this show 4 times a week, every Monday through Thursday. It's broadcast at before 10 o'clock Eastern Time. It's archived on YouTube. It's on our channel, LA Little. Weekly show also on a Sunday evening, same time, same place. As far as today, it was a kind of a sideways day, more or less hesitating, waiting to see what the big news is going to be on the Brexit. It looks to me like they're already focusing on Britain staying. I said as much last night. It looks the same today. Didn't look any different. Markets pretty much just sit there. Really didn't go anywhere. We actually saw some pressure on the small caps, but on all the others, pretty much up and holding a steady. Big sell down in the gold. That's where the gold and silver, that's where the real market was taking place. The dollar trades up as the rest of the currencies trade down. Bonds down as well. And if we look overseas, they actually held those gains. The CAC, the DAX, up 0.5%. So you had a 3.5% rally yesterday, another 0.5% today. I think they're kind of telling us that Brexit is not going to take place. Let's take a look at the actual markets here now. I'm doing this show a little bit early because I have to skedaddle. I got some prior engagements I've got to get to, so I don't have the volumes. But you can see it's an inside day, and you're going to see that across the board. So rather than focus on the charts that have no volume, let's go to the ones that do. We'll use the proxies, the SPY. If we look at the SPY, we see volume dissipating inside day as well. If we look at it on the Qs, volume also dissipating. So you're going to see that across the board here in all of these. And with that being the case, that tells us that more than likely what you're going to see is that these inside days don't tell us anything more than we already knew yesterday. Yesterday we had a big long tail, we had a big push up. I think what you're going to see is you're going to see volatility come back sometime tomorrow late, maybe on Thursday. That's when the volatility is going to come back, and that's where it's going to try to break the range. So if I go back to the S&P, where is the range? Well, the range is between those areas that we've identified previously. So let's draw them out again here. So you've got the swing point low, that was the retest region, and you've got this low down here in that area. That's the key area. So I think you see something one side or the other of this, you're going to have to respect that, because that's probably going to be directional for a little while at least. As far as overseas, the continuation move higher doesn't tell us much. Inside our markets, we saw some earnings today. A few of those, some panned out, some didn't. So you saw an earnings warning. I mentioned this one last night and warned. This one, big volume, breaks swing point lows on the way down. If we look at another one this evening that's going to disappoint tomorrow is FedEx. It looks like FedEx comes in a little bit light, a little bit of selling after the bell. The one that's probably the biggest surprise, though, is here with Adobe. Adobe trades down about 4% after hours. That stock has been on a roll. If you pull this back and look at it on a weekly, it's continued higher and higher and higher, finally getting a bit of a hit here on an earnings surprise to the downside. If we look elsewhere, right, and so this one's going to be interesting just to see how far it really pulls back, because this has been one of the steady eddies, right, that have been pushing up. Even with the disappointments before, it just comes bouncing back up. You saw this low, earnings drove it down the last time, I believe, February. Earnings drove it down the last time, and here we are again. Was that earnings? That was actually just the market selling down, I believe. I don't think that was earnings. But anyway, you had tested the lows with higher volume. My interest now is, do you get under this bar and do you come all the way back down here? Because this is one of the few high flyers in the tech sector that continues to hold its wings, hasn't been clipped yet. What else did we have? We had which one was it? LEN, I believe, in the, if I remember right, this was the one that reported last night. Lunar. I don't know if it was Lunar or not. If it was, that's a disappointment. I'll have to go back and check that, but we had I thought we had the ITB, the earnings that was reported there. I thought it was Lennar. Maybe it wasn't, but it was up early. If it reversed like that, then that's not good for the group. What else are we going to look on or focus on? Inside days, not much happening in Europe. They actually held higher. They're kind of, they're at a stalemate. I suspect they're going to go sideways now. Asia not really doing anything. And if we look over at the currencies, I don't think the currencies are telling us anything either that we didn't already know. So if there was some excitement today, it was in the gold market. I'll just pop up the gold market here by hand. We saw a pretty good sell-off coming back in off of this big spike up. So you had volume on the upside, and now you're getting volume back down the other way. Well, not so much the volume